recorded and we're live, but I will be sharing slides, but I'll check the, I can't talk and do this at the same time. Check the, why can't I share my screen? There we go. Check the chat as we go. So as I'm going through this, if you guys have questions, please feel free to drop it in the chat bar. I think that's honestly the easiest way to get you guys what you need, because obviously we all have different obstacles that we're going to come across. And from my experience, if you have a question as you're going through things, chances are somebody else on the call will have that same question. So we'll dive in. Bear with me. My son is in the basement playing hockey. So when you hear these like really loud screams, he's literally directly below me, and he's extremely loud. And I'm just going to let him roll with it because it's keeping him happy. So we'll kick things off again. Week 1 training. So last week was all about kicking off your business, and now we're going to get into exactly what you can and should be doing each and every day to help build your business and move it forward. We're going to be going over the month 1 goals today, understanding your BAT, your business activity tracker, talking about your quality post inviting, which is a daily non-negotiable for me and every one of you, because this isn't just selling a thing in a sales business. This is actually an incredible gift that we get to offer other people. And I'm going to end it with a quick story about the coffee. So real quick, when I say BAT, do you guys know what that is? Raise your hands. No, yes, some no. All right, well, that BAT is literally one of the things that lives with me, goes with me everywhere I go, and we'll be going in, like covered in receipts right now, going over that in a little bit more detail. So your first month, you're going to hear it over and over again, 3 people. 3 people, get your first 3 people in the door. And if you listen to the National Wake Up Call on Monday, which is the company-led weekly call that corporate puts out there, Christina talked about this. Very first thing, what do you do as a new coach? Get 3 people. And there's a few reasons why that we focus on that 3. I'm going to talk about those with you guys, but getting your first 3 customers on board with you does a few things. For one, it's going to help you hit what we call Success Club. So Success Club is a measure from the company. Obviously, we need benchmarks along the way so we know if we're on track, if we're growing, or we're not. Success Club is something you'll hear over and over. SC, hit Success Club, help 3. And it is our measurement of helping people every single month. So helping somebody, if I help Stephanie sign up this month with a challenge pack, I get 2 Success Club points for her. If she bought another challenge pack from me next month, I don't get 2 again. It's new customers, new coaches. She's already a customer of mine. So you can get points from the same person every 6 months, but the whole idea is to measure new people each month. So 3 people, 3 customers or coaches who enroll with you with either a challenge pack or Shakeology HD order or a performance stack. There's a couple other one-off, but those are the main ways you're going to be earning Success Club points. The reasons those are awarded Success Club is because they're on HD. So if you order a challenge pack, it comes with either a performance stack or Shakeology HD, because we want people not just to buy it, but to continue those monthly subscriptions as well. What else helps with, so 3 people, you get 2 points per person, 2, 4, 6 for those first 3 people, you hit Success Club. That benchmark is 5 that the company measures, which I know is odd because we count by 2. So 2, 4, 6, you're actually getting Success Club 6, but you'll see it as hitting Success Club 5 or higher. So that gets you on that first recognition level. The other thing is when you hit Success Club 5 or higher, you're also earning back your investment. So we have a pretty small investment to get started as a coach here, right? $150-ish. If you're helping 3 people earning about $50 per commission on each of those challenge packs, you're also earning back your investment. So now you're flat. Now you've earned back what you spent to get started on your own personal journey and your business, and you've made that initial investment back. The other piece with that is achieving success starters. So success starters happens when you have achieved Success Club 3 of your first 6 months as a coach. And this is a new little perk that was added just this year, but when you achieve success starters, hitting Success Club 3 of your first 6 months as a coach, you will get your summit ticket paid for, which is the annual coach event, which next year will be in St. Louis near the end of July. but you also get the opportunity to be in one of the new coach or new program test groups. So right now, coaches who hit their 3rd month of Success Club by July of this year, they actually get a spot in Autumn's new 9-week control freak. Is that right? 9-week control week program test group that will be coming out later this year. It's such a unique business opportunity that honestly used to be reserved for like the elite of the elite, the top coaches of the company. And unless you were among those very top few, you didn't get an opportunity to do it. And now they're giving an opportunity for newer coaches who are just starting out, who are coming out of the gates, hitting those benchmarks each month to get a spot in that group, which to me is huge. Like that alone would be enough for me to be like, okay, I've got to hit Success Club these first 3 months and score one of those spots. It helps you not only get knowledge into what new programs are coming, you get to work with the trainer, and you also get to be in a group with other people who have that same drive as you, who came into the business like you did around the same time and who just ran and hit the ground running. So lots of reasons why, but that is one of your number one month one goals. So grab a Post-it note, write it down. I will hit Success Club in the month of August. I will help 3 people this month. And it really is as simple as that, helping 3 people. My first month when I got started, the very first person that I signed up was my sister. Now my sister's active duty military, still is today, and she was deployed at the time. So in my mind, I remembered my sister talking about how the food on the Navy ships was awful. So as soon as I signed up as a coach, I immediately went to her and was like, hey, I did this thing. I know how much you say that the food is so bad on the ship. I really think you're going to love Shakeology. Will you please support me? It was as simple as that. There was no fancy social media post to go along with it. No idea that I had to go sell her on this thing. I asked my sister to support me. The next thing I did is I picked up my phone and I sent a text message to my mom and my sister-in-law and my mother-in-law, and I sent them my 21-day fix transformation pictures, and I was like, I just finished this first program. I'm blown away about how my body has changed in these short 3 weeks. Do you want to try this too? So it was very simple. Again, we'll talk about the posts and we'll go into more about that. But when you think of hitting Success Club, first month as a coach, getting your first 3 people, think about those people who already know and love and trust you. Now, the other thing I did with that was I signed up my husband. Signing up your husband has, or spouse or significant other or family member has a variety of kind of bonus points, perks to go along with it. For one, I knew I was in this business for the long haul. I wasn't in here to just make a couple bucks and bolt. I knew that when I got started here, this was something I was going to stick with forever. I saw the possibilities. I saw the other people succeeding. I saw the potential, and I was like, I'm in it. I'm going to do this. And I understood from people just sharing on calls like this, and they said, you want to get your significant other signed up first. Because as you grow your business and you grow your team and you learn more about the compensation plan, which will come with time, not here from month 1's week 1 call, but it was beneficial to have my husband high up in my downline as I built a team down the road. As I began to build volume, I could actually capitalize on the compensation plan that way. Didn't really understand what that meant, but I knew I was in it for the long haul. I knew my husband would support me. So I got him signed up right away as well. So my husband, my sister, my mother-in-law, first few people that got me, up off the ground, but also helped me hit Success Club, hit that month 1 Success Starters. Now, if you're thinking, well, I just bought a challenge pack, what in the world would I sign up my significant other with or my spouse with? There's a couple different ways you can look at it. Obviously, MBF is a little unique in that any MBF challenge pack that you signed up with gave you access to 2B Mindset, gave you access to Ultimate Portion Fix along with the MBF program. If you already have MBF, then I would recommend doing something like a 3-day refresh challenge pack. 3-day refresh is an awesome way to get 3-day results. Maybe you're going on vacation, or you just got home from vacation, or you're preparing for a wedding if you're lucky enough to go to one or have one at this time of year. And you want to do something that just helps cleanse your body, kick the sugar toxins out, and just detox amongst the quarantine craze of snacking all the time. 3-day refresh is a great product for that. What you can do is combine that with a box of Shakeology packets. I always keep Shakeology packets on stock in my pantry because I run into people who are like, I'm not so sold on this thing you're talking about. Can I try it? And while you could absolutely make a shake for somebody, if you can offer them a week of Shakeology where they can buy from you just 1 week to try it versus committing to a whole 30 days, sometimes that's enough to get someone to go from skeptical to committed. So when you're looking at signing up your spouse, if you don't have MBF, I would sign them up with the MBF Challenge Pack because you get so much with that this month. The 2 nutrition programs, the program access, and all that kind of stuff. But if you already have MBF, I would take the route of a 3-day refresh challenge pack because you don't need the nutritional programs, but you can use that as a way to get Shakeology packets to kind of partition off. And I do sell them. I don't just give them away to people. I do sell them to people who are interested in trying it for, 4, 5, 6, 7 days so they can see what flavor they like best, how it works for them. Do they want vegan? Do they want regular? That kind of stuff. Does that make sense? Any questions on the whole signing up a spouse? All right, well, we will move on then. But again, I seriously want you to put it on a Post-it note. I will hit Success Club in the month of August because I am here to build my business, and that's what I was told to do. So we're going to move on because obviously hitting Success Club is easier said than done. But what do you have to do to get there? This is a little excerpt of the business activity tracker, which, yes, I have bound in my little planner book. You can print this out. I know I have a link in my team page. Chances are your upline has a link in their team page where you can download this. But when it comes to the actions of what do we do as coaches? Like if someone says to me, what do you do every day as a coach? This is it. This is the list of daily activities that I do day in and day out. Now, some of them are a little bit more given. Look at the very first thing. It starts with this for a reason. The first thing listed on the business activity tracker is to be proof the products work. Because at the end of the day, your personal journey and your story and the way you communicate with your body, with your passion, with your excitement, how these programs and products work for you, that will become your best piece of selling advice. Sure, you can share your coaches or your friends' transformation pictures, and that might be enough to get someone's attention. But when somebody already knows and loves and trusts you and can see exactly what you've done, and you can tell them exactly how you got there, it is so much easier to say, come do this with me, and they know what you're doing. You're working out, you're drinking your shake every single day. So this purposefully starts with that. That should be a given, not necessarily part of your work day, but you're here as a coach, you're working out, you're drinking your shake. That should be 2 easy checks each day. The next section of the business activity tracker is really where the meat of what we do as coaches comes into play. Now, there's little times you'll see associated with each of these tasks. You could be spending much less and much more on any given task depending on what your goals are. I always say use this as a way to adjust what time you have to invest in your business. The key is to make sure that you're doing each of these things every single day. So the very first thing that you see here is initiate connections and add followers. So I just talked about how when you're getting started and your first 3 people might be your mom, your sister, your cousin, your brother, your in-laws, some best friend, neighbor. Those are the people who are already in your circle. But eventually, after that first month of hitting Success Club with those people near and dear to your heart, it's like, okay, well, now what? Well, this is how you make sure you don't ever get to the point to say, who do I talk to next? Constantly, I am adding new connections through Facebook, through Instagram, new followers, and really just communicating with them. I look at it like I'm a professional friend maker, and I'm here to see who do I have something in common with? Are their kids the same age as mine? Is their background similar to mine? Do we both watch Friends every night before we go to bed? Like, what is it that we have in common that I can use to connect with? So this here isn't about inviting people to join your challenge group or inviting people to come learn more about MBF or come learn more about the coaching opportunity. This is simply being social on social media because that's what it was created to do. So posting, that is on the next part, that's definitely a piece of the puzzle. And you need to be posting every single day, sharing you, sharing your journey, sharing what you love about this company, about your team. But that's such a small piece. It's what you do behind the scenes that really will propel your business forward. So the first thing here, initiate connections and add followers. And again, we have power hours that go into a little bit more details. You can grab recordings of power hours. If you search in your team page, you'll probably find some of them. But a power hour is where you're kind of going through these activities within an hour of time. And that is probably one of the best ways to be like, what exactly am I doing? Like, how am I adding contacts? How am I adding new followers? It can be as simple as going, you know how on Facebook, if you click on somebody's name, Or if you're like, it's kind of, I think it's usually like under your notifications, what will give you suggested friends. And Instagram does that, like suggested followers, like somebody you might know. They're doing that because it's based off of people you interact with now. You may also know this person, or you may also have something in common with this person. So that is one way that you can go through and be like, okay, like who are new people I can add? Now, one thing you want to be careful, you don't want to go add a bunch of coaches. Because while coaches can be super supportive of you and they can be great rah-rah cheerleaders of you, they're not the people who are going to help build your business and help you grow. So yes, if you've got some people in your new coach training group with you who are starting with you, who you've established these friendships, absolutely follow them. But you don't want to only add coaches. You want to add people who are actually going to help grow your network, who are going to be potential coaches of yours down the road, or potential customers of yours down the road. I like to go to just, a brand. Again, I love the show Friends. So if somebody else is following the Friends Instagram handle and they're interacting on those pages, they may be like me. We have something in common because we both love that show. So thinking of ways to find those followers and those connections, thinking of like, take it that way of who else is following something that I have in common with them. If you're a new mom, or you're getting ready to get married, or you're a teacher or a nurse, those are ways where you can be like, who else is using similar hashtags as me? Who else is using similar like locations if you travel to a certain place? And those are ways that you can add new connections. But this is the part here where it's just growing your actual network that you have. The next piece is your social media posts. Again, it's crazy to think that when I first started 6 years ago, we used to post 5 or 6 times a day. So we would literally, it was like a nonstop, like, okay, I woke up and this is what I did for personal development. And then this is what I did for my workout. And then here's a video of my workout. And then here's what I have for breakfast. And here's what I'm doing for the kids. And this is what I'm cooking for dinner. And oh, by the way, do you want to come join my team? Like, it's crazy, kind of like what you see on Instagram and Facebook stories now. That used to be like my feed. There were no stories. Now it's changed where you can document without any crazy filters, without any crazy polishedness, what you're doing in your stories, but your post is a little more purposeful, a little more driven, a little more thought in it, but you only need to be posting, I always say, once a day. Can you post more than that? Sure. If you've got more to say than posting once a day, post more than that, but you don't need to. The idea is to be consistent, that you every single day are showing up on social media and people see you not just as a coach, not just as a mom, not just as a wife, not just as a teacher, but they're able to see all the different aspects of you. And there's a book called Jab, Jab, Right Hook, or Jab, 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 Right Hook, where it talks about how you don't want to constantly be saying, here's my next group, come join my team, come learn more. You don't want to be constantly throwing out the hook. You want to be giving value. You want to be asking for people's opinions. You want to be sharing positivity and enlightenment and motivation. And after you've given a little bit, that jab, 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 you can throw out the right hook that says, I've got this new group starting, or I'm doing a sneak peek into coaching, or whatever it may be. So you want to think about your social media posts in that way, where you're not just saying this is what I have to give you in terms of like, this is my group for the month, but rather giving them a recipe, giving them a tip, giving them something like words of positivity or motivation. And then you come in with with the actual hook to say, this is how you can be a part of it and join me too. So that's the second piece here. Again, there's one check mark there to do a post in some way that showcases your healthy lifestyle or has a call to action. The stories, to me, this is the most fun part of the day. This is where you don't have to overthink it, and it's truly just documenting your life. Maybe you work this business in 2 or 3 small pockets of time throughout your day. Maybe you spend 10 minutes in the morning, or 10 minutes at lunch, or 10 minutes in the evening, or you're, putting your kids to bed and you're sitting at your computer, or you're sitting on your couch, on your phone, whatever it is. You get to document all the ins and outs of it. And to me, the whole idea of stories is to allow people to see what you're doing. Other people can do it too. But it doesn't take anything fancy. It doesn't take any, special superpowers. It's consistency. It's dedication. It's that discipline to get up, show up, put the work in every single day. So to me, my stories are my consistency. On any given day, if you open my stories, you're going to see that I meditate first thing in the morning, that I do a pre-workout dance party with Energize, and I tag a bunch of my friends and my teammates that do it too, that I do my workout and I share little clips, and I usually add some sort of note of positivity in there. that I drink a shake every single day. Not that I'm saying, here's my Shakeology, but today it was a picture of my shake, and I was kind of showed like the scroll of my challenge group, and I talked about checking into my group. Didn't really talk about the shake, but it was there. And it's how I can show my consistency every single day through my stories. They're so fun and such an easy way. If you're not comfortable yet, maybe posting, you're not comfortable talking on the camera, you've got a couple 15-second clips. And that's what you see listed in this big chunk here in the middle, where it says update your stories throughout the day, daily life, workout clips, product use. It specifically is there for a reason, no brand name shown. You don't want to be saying, here's my Shakeology. You know, maybe it's your superfoods, maybe it's your fast food on the go, your energy, your pre-workout, your liquid gold, your liquid sunshine, you know, finding different ways to talk about it so that people are like, what is that you drink every single morning? Like, I'm super interested. Different meals that you're creating, your meal prep, what you're eating, and then obviously call to actions. Just like I said earlier, when you're talking about your Facebook post or your social media post, it's not a constant call to action. You're sharing, you're giving, you're sharing tips and stuff. But on my stories, I put a call to action almost every single day in my stories because it's easy. I add a poll, I add a little slide bar, and then in 24 hours, it's gone. And I know I'm using stories every day, but if you're not already on social media or using it for a business, chances are you're not necessarily using stories every single day. So while to me it's redundant and I'm posting a call to action every day and my shake every day and my workout every day, to the average person who just picks up their phone and takes a scroll, they're not seeing it every day. So I put the consistency up on my end so that as other people come and look on their terms, they're going to keep seeing that trend and those themes throughout my stories where hopefully they're going to be like, all right, enough is enough. I want to join this girl already. Another thing that I love to use with my stories is recognition and shouting people out. I shout out the results that people share in my challenge group. I got a message yesterday that was like, okay, just tell me what you're doing because I want to look like you, like something like that. I screenshot that. And I like put it on my stories. Like I love getting these messages. Like I love when to see another woman hit that tipping point from interested to committed makes my day. Can't wait to help her reach her goals. Like I use those little messages that I get from people and I screenshot them and they all go in my stories because it allows people to be like, okay, what I'm thinking, other people are saying. And again, it's that open invitation to be like, okay, I've seen enough. I'm going to join her too. So stories to me are super fun. Again, don't overthink it. There are tons of apps out there that you can make your stories animated. And honestly, I just usually use whatever's in Instagram. Like I don't create a whole lot in outside apps. Sometimes I will for like an actual group that's coming up, but for the most part, I just use what's in there. The next break here, responding to all likes, comments, and views. And you'll see the biggest piece of time is allotted here. I don't know about you guys, but how many of you were invited? You can maybe drop it in the chat. Were you invited or did you reach out to your coach? Like, did somebody actually come and invite you or did you see somebody and you approach them? I'd love to see it in the chat bar just to know kind of invited. I was not invited. I was actually the oddball. You reached out, invited. So there's a good mix in here. Invited, reached out. It's like 50-50. So I was one who reached out. I saw what my coach was doing because she was super consistent and she was showing up every single day. And I got to that point where I used to sit on my couch and I'd roll my eyes and I'd be like, good for her. Like, she's so great. And then I was like, you know what? Why am I like angry that this girl's crushing life? I'm just going to go crush it with her. She's telling me she can help me. She's showing me what she's doing. I'm just going to go reach out to her. So that was my approach. Like a lot of you guys here, I reached out to the person. But the other 50% of you who said you were invited, can you imagine if you weren't invited? That person never invited you. How different would your life be? You know, or have you invited someone who said yes, that you've been able to already change their life? Like, if you weren't bold enough to do that, where would that person be today? And I can tell you that the first time I ever heard the words from one of my challengers who came forthright to me and said, you have no idea the state of mind I was in, but when you reached out to me and invited me, you saved me from a deep place and I was in a dark depression. You need to know you saved my life. Like, those words coming from an invite to a boot camp, right? Seems so simple, but to that person at that time, it saved her life. So I personally even though it was me reaching out, my coach's public actions invited me to reach out to her. So I have a Post-it that lives on my desk, and it just says, I'm grateful someone invited me. So when I sit down and I'm going through my social media and I'm thinking about who am I going to connect with and who am I going to talk to and what am I going to say, I remind myself that I'm grateful somebody invited me. And I'm grateful that person told me years ago that I changed their life, because it's one of the things that keeps me going no matter how many times I'm ignored or told no. And it's something that I want you guys to understand, that there's somebody out there who's waiting for you to be the person that contacts them. So while it might seem silly, someone just liked your post. You said, drop a comment below if you're interested. Nobody commented, but someone liked it. And you're like, well, they didn't comment, so I'm just not going to say anything. No, if they are liking your stuff, if they are watching your stories, that is an open door and an open invitation for you to reach out to them and see if they're interested. I have some example wording that we'll go over here in a little bit, but responding to your likes, your comments, and your views on your stories, that's where I spend the bulk of my day. And that's why you'll see on this business activity tracker, that's the biggest chunk of time. Because some people are going to come to you when you make that post that says you're here to help and says you have a group. They're going to be like, okay, I'm in. But the other half of the people are going to sit there. They're going to they're going to watch your stories, but they're not brave enough to come to you and say, help me. So it's up to you to go through this step here of reaching out to those people to actually invite them. And again, I'll talk about that wording here in a little bit. And then the other piece, invite, we'll get more into that, invite into a coaching challenge group invite to a challenge group or to the coaching opportunity. And then the last thing there is follow up. I have a list. Actually, I work mainly from my yellow notebook, but that's the list that I follow when I'm doing follow-ups, because most people, they are interested and you're going to send some stuff to them, and then their dog's going to poop on the floor and they're going to get distracted, or their kid's going to poop on the floor, because that's happened too, and they're going to get distracted, or they're in the middle of saying, okay, tell me what I need to do, and then their mother-in-law calls. Like, that's what just happened here. Like, there's so many distractions in life. So it's up to you to be like, if somebody said to you, I'm interested, write their name down. Don't say, oh my gosh, it's one person, I'll remember them. No, get in the habit now of writing down the names of every person, because it feels so good when you get to go to that name and give a little check mark when you send them their share card, or do a little, star because they actually purchased and signed up with you. I track everything. Every conversation, when somebody says, tell me what to do, I'm all in, sign me up, whatever it is, I immediately write their name down so I can follow up with them, because it usually isn't just a simple, okay, I'm in, tell me what to do, here's your stuff, and sign up. It usually takes a little bit more work, and that's where the due diligence is on your part as the business owner to keep track of all that. So the last piece there is in the follow-up. Now, the rest of the business activity tracker goes into getting the people results. Once they sign up with you, our job is just beginning. That short, get you your Success Club points and your name on a recognition board, but the work begins once they've enrolled, once they've made the investment. And now it's like, okay, you got to take this person from a customer who's purchased to a customer who gets results. And that's where your contribution into the challenge group is so key, because if you are I'd say most coaches are running a group with their upline. I don't know if you guys are running a group with your upline, if you're running a group on your own. I'd say the majority of coaches team up with their upline, at least in the beginning. So you can add your people into that group. That's what makes it so great. Like, we're all a team, but your challengers, they don't know me, they know you. So while I can run the group and I can share daily check-ins and daily, informational posts and all that kind of stuff, they're going to follow your lead. So it's important that you are still contributing to the group, encouraging everybody who's in the group, leading from the front with your own journey, checking in every day so they see you in action and they follow suit there as well. And just like we talked about recognizing achievement in stories, recognizing it within your challenge groups, and then obviously this check mark here, this is like my end of the day. Did I go through my inbox? Did I go through my Instagram messages, Facebook messages, and respond to any questions from my coaches or challengers also in the challenge group? And then number 4 on the business activity tracker is your personal development. This is business development right now, right? Like, you're learning about what to do in your first week as a coach, first month as a coach. Personal development, professional development, something you should be doing every day. It can take so many different forms. I mentioned the book, Jab, 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 Right Hook. It's an awesome book that really just helps you understand in your content and what you put out there on social media. The Compound Effect was one of the very first books that I read when I became a coach, that helped me understand how those small actions, how looking at, you know, this business activity tracker, and it's like, oh, I probably don't need to do everything every day. Like, I could probably pick and choose a couple things each day. No, it's the small daily insignificant things over and over again that will compound to get you those greater results in the end. So those are two of the books that I always recommend to start with. And then, I mean, I imagine, I know I have a list to my team page. I think most of us have some sort of list of other books, but personal development, whether it's a podcast, Audible, you can listen to books through Audible app, or actually physically holding a book and reading it, the 10-15 minutes that you do in that personal development to help get your mindset right. So that when you are inviting and following up and maybe getting told no or getting ignored, you realize that that's okay. It's just part of the process, and you just keep moving on. So that's the personal development piece there. Any questions on the back? Any questions? All right. So moving on to our posts. You want to keep in mind that your social media, this is your place to share your story. Don't think you don't have a story, because we all have a story. There was something that took you from not a coach to becoming a coach. What was it? What went through your mind? What did you think about as you went through that process? And why was it that you actually hit submit that day and said, I'm going to be a Beachbody coach? That's part of your story. If it's something that was fitness related, something that had to do with the community, something to do that you needed the financial side of things, all the little intricate things that maybe seem like a small thing all go together to create your story. One of the best things that you can do today and in a month and in 6 months is continue updating why you're a coach, what it is you love about it, what it is you love about the programs, the products, the company, the environment, the team that you're a part of, and all those things become little aspects of posts that you can do down the road. And I know that I remember one day someone said to me, they're like, oh my, like they were reading one of my posts, and she's like, you should write a book. Your words are so good. I'm like, I don't write books, I read them. That's where so much of the content that I get and I share comes from reading books. It comes from reading, personal development, or listening to things like the National Wake Up Call or calls like this, where it helps me put into words the things that I'm thinking, feeling, experiencing. So I want you to realize that crafting quality posts isn't something that necessarily is going to come to you overnight. When I see my on this day memories and I go back and I read some of those first posts that I wrote 6+ years ago when I got started, I'm thinking, Lordy, those are so bad. But they weren't good posts. They weren't catchy. They weren't stories. They were kind of more just like me spitting out facts. And they got better over time, and they got better because I got better, because I didn't wait until I was this perfect writer to get started. I have a background in finance and accounting. Was the girl who despised English growing up. I hated reading. I didn't read a book for pleasure until I started coaching at the age of 20, 8 or something like that. I didn't read a book for fun. My books were studies. I studied, and I certainly wasn't going to read any more than I had to. So this was a shift for me. This wasn't a natural thing for me, but I also knew that it was something that I could learn. So when you're thinking about your posts, don't feel like they have to be perfect. Just start, because they'll get better. Think about what is on your mind as you're working out. What is somebody messaging you? What is somebody else telling you? And those are all things that can become part of crafting quality posts. You want to look at it that you're here to add value and to inspire and share this with other people. So it's a little bit more of look at me, and a little more of like, how can this help someone else? How can I put like when you're writing it, it's like, can somebody else read this and put themselves in my shoes? When I first got started, my kids, who are now 9 and 7, I had an infant and a 2-year-old at my feet. So a lot of my posts in the beginning were all about balancing, that new mom stage with the craziness of building a business. And it was messy and imperfect, and I never slept. And I would always use that as a basis for what I would share, which in my mind, it was giving other women the idea that if she can do all of that and not sleep, but still get up and press play for 30 minutes, so can I. So, start to think about those things as you begin writing your posts, and realize that it doesn't have to be perfect to start, and that it will get better over time. And if you're going through things and you're like, it's kind of what I'm trying to say, I'm not sure how to word it, ask your coach for advice. One of my favorite things is to take a post or an idea from one of my coaches and help them craft it into a better story on social media. And I'll give you an example. One of my coaches had given me some Shakeology stats. It was like, X% experience this and X% experience that. And she was like, do you have a picture? I want to use this picture to post on my social media. And I was like, stop. Do not post a stock image from the back office that has a bunch of numbers talking about what Shakeology has done for other people. What's it done for you? Think about what it's done for you. And a picture of you is going to do far better than a stock image from the back office with a bunch of numbers on it. So I get what you're saying. You want to show the value of Shakeology and how Shakeology has all these other benefits beyond just being a shake. But let's kind of twist that and let's put it into your personal experience. So we went back and forth, and she's a young mom, and she used a picture of her with her daughter drinking the shake and talked more about how on the busy days, as running out the door, taking the kids to daycare in the morning, this can be your fast food way to make sure you don't hit up the drive-through, but you're still getting the nutrients on the go. And she just totally spun it. And yes, stats are cool and they can add value, but what's really going to catch someone else's attention, not a stock image from the back office talking about how many people improve their digestion. It's going to be you as a person smiling in the camera with, one of your children, your puppy, or whatever it is, sharing what it's done for you personally. So just a little example of how you can take an idea and then spin it to where it's something that actually adds more value and gives more insight to someone else who's looking and watching your stuff. So I talked about this part here a little bit, but just kind of recap. Your social media, you're looking to do one good post a day. If you've got more quality things to say, so be it, but you only need to be doing it once a day consistently, not today and tomorrow and then skipping 3 days and then another day and skipping 4. One every single day. 5 to 10 stories, which if you go back to that business activity tracker and look through the ideas that are there between your personal development, between your workouts, your, what you're consuming from a nutritional standpoint, 5 to 10 stories should be easy breezy to get in every single day. Think about what you're posting. You don't want it to be a so what post, kind of like the Shakeology stats. Okay, cool. So what? You really want to share the personal side of things that's going to allow other people to see themselves in your shoes. Growing your following, this goes along with the very first thing on the business activity tracker, that's adding new followers every day. The only way you can grow your social is to be social, to add new friends, to add new followers, and to connect and communicate with those people you're adding. Not to just go in blindly and follow 20 people, but follow them with intention. Send them a message, compliment them, like their photos, engage with them. Because when you establish it, it's crazy. It's so crazy to me that I've been able to build a business through making friends on Instagram, but that's really how it works. And some of you, maybe you knew your upline from childhood or college or something like that, but I know a lot of my coaches, we met through Instagram, we met through a Facebook group, we met through some connection that led us to become business partners. And it's wild how that works, but it starts with the initial connection of following and engaging with them on social media. Oops. And then I just want to talk about your IG bio. Nowhere in here does it say that I'm a Beachbody coach. Doesn't say Team Beachbody Coach. And my link certainly doesn't say, teambeachbody.com / whatever with my coach ID. Because I don't want someone to click that link and buy a thing from me. I want to talk to them. I want to know what their pain points are, what their struggles are, what kind of fitness they like, so that I can recommend something that's going to be the best fit for them. So you don't want your Instagram bio to scream, I'm a Team Beachbody coach. I'm a proud one, don't get me wrong, but I want them to see me as a person, as a business mentor, someone who loves her husband, who loves their kids, all those things that they can see when they look at my Instagram page. And if they begin following me, they'll also see, yes, I run boot camps. I do new coach trainings, and I love helping other people build and grow their businesses. And they'll see all that in time, but I want to connect with them first. So, kind of take quick look at your own bio and take note. Do you need to change something? I also believe that your Instagram name or your actual name should be part of your Instagram name. I'll go to tag people like coaches of mine, and I'm like, it's like Susie G Fit 261994. And I'm like, well, can't you just put your name there? It'd be a lot easier to tag you if your Instagram name was just your name. And I get it. Some names are taken. You might have to get a little creative, but less of the whole let's be fit friends type of thing, and just your name. You want to just be your name and connect with people who you are. And those things are super easy things that you can change and edit. And there's tons of little videos about making, a great catchy Instagram bio. I just wanted to bring it up here because honestly, that's how I quickly know who not to follow back. If I get followed by someone, I look at their Instagram and it says Beachbody Coach. I'm like, well, you're already a coach, so you're not adding any value to my network at this point. Unless they're on my team, I'm not going to follow them back. So just little tidbits there. Linktree is a little bit easier to set up. There's another one called Smart Bio. They both serve the same purpose. And the purpose of them is that you can add multiple links. So for instance, I get asked a lot about my workout clothes. So I have like links to my favorite workout clothes within here. I have links to my application to join my boot camp or my team, but also some other things like my favorite things on Lululemon or my favorite things from Kiava or my favorite things on Amazon. So by not just using, for example, that Team Beachbody link, you can use something else like Linktree or Smart Bio, and it allows you to put multiple links in your bio so people can connect with you on other levels. So a few little things just to kind of make your Instagram bio a little bit more just streamlined. Sharing your journey. I like to give these little examples just if you're struggling on like what to share and what to share consistently. Because again, you don't want it to be all about your workouts. You don't want it to just be like, yes, you can see here, that was 80s day. You can see I work out. You can see, you know, I've got, you know, here's a group of girls together, me and my husband. This is me and my son. This is me on vacation. This is, you know, a white quote. I like to use those to break things up. But I like things like if it was just my daily workout post every day, I'd be like, okay, well, this girl's a fitness fanatic. She's way over my head. I'm not interested in that. Like you wanted to show a variety. So I like to just give these examples. It's really good in the beginning if you're struggling with what to post or how to post it. This can be a little, you know, kind of helpful, whether it's like an inspiration on Monday, transformation Tuesday. I'm constantly sharing my transformation. It's honestly the easiest way to connect to people. But it just shows people that I'm on a forever journey. Sharing value tips. Thursday being coaching payday. It's always a great day to share something about coaching has done for you. Friday, you can do like, you know, fun fact Friday or introduce yourself Friday, foodie Friday, share a recipe, something like that. Saturdays, I always try to keep things super light. Like they're not businessy. They're not usually call to action posts. It's usually just something that I'm doing with my family on the weekends. And then again, no stock photos. Don't be pulling the stock photos from the back office and using those on your social media, and keep the Beachbody lingo out of it. And you really want to keep it more on you and what it's done for you, what the products are to you, and less about Shakeology, Energize, MBF, you know, kind of talk about the things in a different way. Some of my favorite apps, Snapseed. I use if I'm going to lightly edit a picture, I'll lighten them with Snapseed. I'll change the color on Snapseed. That's really the main things I do with there. If you've ever heard of presets, I use purchase presets. I have some from Etsy. I know Melanie and Katie both have some through Chic Influencer. But you can add a preset, and that just gives your pictures a consistent color so that whenever someone looks at your page, it's just more aesthetically pleasing. So they're not dark, light, medium. It just kind of gives them all the same color overlay. So Lightroom is where the presets come from. Unfold, if you want to do like fun things on your stories, this is a good app for that. Word Swag is a free app that I use to make the like quotes down here. And then Pick Play Post is where I would put like this picture here where I mirrored it. That's just in Pick Play Post. It's a collage app. So I know there's so many apps. It can be overwhelming if you go to the app store to look. These are literally the only ones that I use. I don't even have anything else on my phone. I deleted all the other ones because these 5 cover all the basics there. Like I saw a question come up. Why is the tracker not in order? I'm not sure what you mean the tracker. I'm not sure what you mean in order. Priscilla, if you want to expand on that, feel free, but I'm not sure what you mean.
That it's not like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever. It's like
it's because
Thursday.
The weeks run Thursday to Wednesday. But if you want to keep it in order, just cross out the dates at the top and just make it Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yep, that's all. And then yes, I will download this little slideshow and put it into a PDF so you guys have it. I have to think if I've done that before. I'll put it on like a Google Drive link for that. All right, so moving on to invite. So talked about it a little bit, but invite. Your business will not grow without it. Because, well, some people are going to come to you, some are not. So one thing, you know, as you're, again, I'm grateful somebody invited me. This is what I look at when I sit down to invite. Maybe you chug some Energize, so you've got all this energy pumping in your blood before you invite. The voice memo, whether you're on Facebook messaging or Instagram messaging, works great because it gives you a way to simply share your excitement with somebody. You want to be bold, you want to be excited, and we will share scripts. Scripts are super great in the beginning, but you also want to make sure they sound like you. If you don't say, hey girl, then don't type it. If you don't say, hey babe, then don't type it. If you don't, whatever it is, you want to make sure that you're using your own language so someone doesn't read it and be like, who is this girl? Because I don't know who she is. Ask for help if you need help with wording or, making those initial invites. Ask. We've all done it before. We do it still. So don't be shy on that and just don't overthink it. Because I can tell you, I have messed up some crappy invites and people have still said yes. I have nailed some invites and people have still ignored me. So it doesn't matter either way. The key is just to do it. What you say to one person is going to rock. What you say to someone else, the same exact thing, they could totally ignore you. You'll get better in time. Maybe voice works great for you. Maybe you record a little video of yourself saying, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Thanks so much for the love on my post. I cannot believe I shared my very first transformation photo. It was nerve-wracking, but super exciting to know that I might be able to inspire somebody else to get started on their journey too. Are you interested in joining us? You can voice that, you can video yourself doing that, and send it out to the people who are engaging on your stuff. Again, the more you do it, the easier it becomes. I have totally learned to take the emotion out of it. If somebody tells me no, I don't go home and cry about it. I'm not hurt by it because I know that what I'm offering is a gift. I know that my life today is drastically different in every way, shape, and form than the life that I had 6 years ago before I joined. Drastically different. And if I can give somebody else a fraction of the financial freedom, of the confidence, of the community that I've gained, then it's a total win. And I focus on that every single time I sit down and invite. And I don't look at them like I'm annoying them. I'm trying to sell them on a thing. I look at it that I have the opportunity to greatly gift somebody with something else that has changed my life. So the invites are, again, something you have to do. Part of the process. Again, it can come from the people who are viewing your stories, engaging on your stuff, the best friend that is, down the street from you. But the invites are totally something that you want to start doing now. So it just becomes part of your daily habits. And I wanted to share just a couple examples here. And again, I know, was it Lena, you'd asked if we were going to share this. I'll give this to you guys so you don't have to go writing this all down. But the very first one here, says, hey, Melissa, I just joined a virtual group. We're doing this brand new 21-day program. I'm blown away with every aspect, determined to get these 10 pounds off that managed to creep in during this quarantine craze. I found my coach on Instagram. Her results are amazing. Would you want to do this with me, with us? I would love to have the accountability and we could keep each other on track in the group and through text. Would you be interested? So super simple. You're sharing that you're doing this 21-day program. Hopefully you guys are doing MBF. But you're doing this program, you're blown away, you're excited, and you want them to do it with you. Some people think that they need to have these drastic results to share before they can get started, when in reality, some people just want to do it alongside of you. They don't need you to have all the answers. They just want to know you're in it with them. So this is a perfect way to just reach out to those people who already know, love, and trust you and just ask them if they want to be a part of it. Along the same lines, but on the coaching end, hey, Melissa, I have something to tell you. You know how much I love health and fitness. I decided to join Beachbody as a coach because I believe in their products and programs, and I want to take my passion and turn it into a biz. I would love to have you as my first customer and testimonial. Would you be interested? I can give you the details. So this is kind of like what I did with my sister, where I was like, you want to be my first customer? Like, come on, like you should do this with me. And again, not because my sister had to, but because I knew that this filled a void of hers. Shakeology filled a void of something she didn't have when she was deployed. So she joined, but 6.5 years later, she's still a coach of mine. Not because I still need her to be my customer, but because she believes in the products. Like, we're not just selling them a purse or a pair of leggings or a mascara. This is something every single day for daily use, for benefits for lifetime. So I don't feel like I'm selling a thing. I'm giving them the same opportunity that was given to me. I shared earlier that I love to do transformations. And part of it is because sharing a transformation photo is one of the best ways to then invite from it. So this is actually exactly what I've been using. This is what I sent to the girl who signed up with me today. Said, hey, Megan, thank you so much for the love and support you gave my recent transformation photo. It used to be scary putting myself out there like this, but now with the kind response of amazing people like you, combined with knowing it could help just one person start their own transformation and feeling so much better, it's so worth it. Have you ever been curious about hopping in with us? This has been getting me great response because it's truly it. Like, I share my results, and it used to like terrify me. The idea of putting myself in, sports bras and shorts or a swimsuit out there and be like, this is what I just did. But in reality, I know that somebody else reading that could see it, be inspired, and drastically change their life too. And that mindset shift is everything I needed to be able to confidently share and then confidently invite from it as well. So this has been working really well for me as well. People who watch your stories, this is such a great way. They're the people who aren't necessarily liking on your posts or commenting on your posts, but they're watching. Thanks so much for watching my stories. Putting myself out there isn't always easy, but I'm on a mission too. What are you on a mission to? Are you on a mission to grow your team? Are you on a mission to, get your first 5 people in a boot camp? Are you on your mission to help one more person the way that you were helped? Whatever it is. And then this is more of a connection. Are you following me for faith, fitness, the wild mom life? Or are you interested in learning more about what I do as a coach? Or are you interested in learning more about my boot camps? You can kind of tailor this to so many different ways depending on what you're sharing and what you're inviting to. It's a very simple way to connect, and then also ask in that question to hopefully get the conversation going from there. And then this last one here, hey, Melissa, your feed is so inspiring. I think I just blew up your page. That would be like going to their page and, you see stuff, you love it, you're commenting on it, you totally get their vibe. You have such a powerful message. I'm always looking for other positive influencers to join my team. Have you ever considered becoming a coach? So just kind of gives you a little bit more wording of how you can connect with those people. And a super, I'm not here to sell you a thing, but I have an opportunity. I'm going to ask you that question. And then I always end with this. So I was a girl who got signed up. I ordered my challenge pack and canceled my Shakeology HD because I was certainly never paying full price for that again. And then after I was on day 16 of the 21-day fix, and I reached out to my coach and I was like, I don't want to stop. I already canceled my HD, but I'm blown away. I'm feeling so much better. And that's when I learned there was a coach discount. So when I signed up as a coach, it was purely because I needed the discount. I was a stay-at-home mom making $0 per hour, and the idea of saving $15 was everything I needed to be able to do it just one more month until I got this figured out. But once I signed up as a coach for the discount, I was also added into my coach's new coach training page, where I learned there's calls to help you build this business, where I learned that there's training and there's guidelines and that people were building legit businesses. And I saw all this happening and I decided to say, why not me? So what started out as a discount turned into an opportunity of a lifetime for me. So I always offer the discount to people. And this just kind of gives you a little bit of an example of how you can word that. This would be once somebody's like, okay, sign me up. What do I need to do? I always just say, I have to ask, would you be interested in signing up as a coach and getting 2 to 3 friends to join this with you? You could get your whole challenge pack paid for and save 25% on everything you order after the challenge pack. Super simple. If you don't want to use the word coach because that might scare somebody off, you can always use the word affiliate or discount coach or VIP member or something. But I always ask if people are interested because, again, to me, that discount was everything in me being able to afford it going forward. And this just talks about taking the emotion out of it. And I'll stop the screen share there. But I was a waitress for a really long time, and we often would say, would you like a cup of coffee? Some people said yes. Some people said no. And I never got upset about it. When that was relayed to me in the same way that we offer people this business from a challenge group standpoint or from a business standpoint, it helped me understand that some will say yes and some will say no. And you have to take the emotion out of it. And it can be really hard and frustrating when you see this person who they want to change and how much that they would benefit from this, and they ignore you, or they tell you they can't afford it, or they say not right now. And just realize that you don't want to get emotionally attached, because being in this for over 6 years, I can tell you so many of the people who once said no, they come back. They come back because I have never quit. I have shown up day in and day out, literally every day for 6 years, every day. If I'm sick, if I'm traveling, if I'm on vacation, if it's my anniversary, my birthday, whatever it is, in some way, shape, or form, I have shown up on my social media. And people know that I don't quit and that I'm not going anywhere. And when they are ready, they come to me. And that's what I want to give you guys all. You all have that same opportunity. Be the person that shows up through the hard, through the good, through the bad, through the ugly. And then when someone's ready, whether it's today or tomorrow or in a year or 6, they're going to come to you because you're the person who didn't quit and didn't give up. And they know that you're going to be that same type of coach to them. So I'm going to keep it there. We are at the end of our hour. There was one question. Oh, Kelly had asked about signing up your spouse. How do you know what leg to place your spouse on? Kelly, I would ask your upline because everybody's is different. So your back office might look very different than mine. Generally, and there's benefits to both. There's benefits to putting your spouse on a weak leg, and there's benefits to putting your spouse on a strong leg. When you look in your back office, chances are you'll see some names that you may not know. If you look under like graphical genealogy, and those are people who have signed up as a coach, possibly by your upline or someone else on your team that aren't necessarily yours. Whatever leg they're on, that's your strong leg. I started out with my spouse on my weak leg, but as my business grew and coaches built on the weak leg, that became my strong leg and they flipped. So there's really no right or wrong way to do it. There's often a better way to start with it. But I would ask your upline just to get a more, if you want to just confirm which one would be best. But honestly, chances are at this point, it's not really going to matter. Any other questions? All right, I'm going to take a quick pic. If your camera's on, or you can turn your camera on, say cheese. There's some more cameras. Oh, I love it. It's way more fun to see your pretty faces. Look at those people popping on. Oh, I love it. All right, 3, 2, 1. Cool. Thanks for getting on. Honestly, this business has blessed my life in so many freaking ways. And it's wild. And every one of you have the exact same opportunity. Take it one day at a time. Print that bad out. If you want to be real ambitious, print out 52 of them. And you'll have 52 the next year. That was the attitude I took when I got started. I didn't know where I was going with it. I didn't really understand what it took and where my goals were. My goals were super small, like, cover the groceries. Like, that's all. Like, I wanted a pedicure every month because I gave that up. And they were just these little things. And as my business grew, my goals changed. And I always said I would go all in and not look back for 1 year. And at the end of 1 year, I would make a decision. And at the end of that 1 year, I still remember my coach being like, so what do you think? And I'm like, oh my God, I'm here for the long haul. Like, I'm not going anywhere. But I had to look at it in short term. I had to focus first on those first 52 weeks. And it's mind blowing what is possible. And you guys can all do it too. So thank you for getting on and spending this last hour with me. It was wonderful to talk to you guys. And even if I am not your coach, if you have questions, please feel free to reach out. We are all on the same team and in it together. All right. Have a great day, guys.